Hi lovelies, welcome back to my channel. So you guys, in this video I'm going to share my makeup tips and tricks. Maybe not all of them all in one video, but a lot of them I will be sharing in this video from start to finish. You guys, I have so many makeup tips and tricks and pro tips that you would not want to miss. So you guys, I'm dedicating this video to my all-time favorite beauty YouTube creator, Mel Thompson, who just passed away. A lot of people know who Mel was. Mel was the most beautiful, amazing person on YouTube. She was the most talented makeup artist and the most kind-hearted person, the most kind-hearted creator on YouTube, you guys. And I've learned so much from her. You don't realize how much someone has touched your life, your soul, until that person is gone, you guys. I didn't realize what an impact Mel left in my life until she was gone. I don't think I've ever grieved someone that I didn't know in personal life, personally, before. I found out Mel's passing at work, you guys, and I cried and I couldn't stop crying, and I still think about her every now and then and I can't stop myself from crying. That's the type of person Mel was. She was an amazing, kind, talented creator, talented makeup artist who left a huge impact on my life and so many others. And if you actually hear Mel's close friends here on YouTube talk about her, you will understand what a lovely person Mel was. Hey guys, Kelsey Brianna J, Mel's friend here on YouTube, set up a GoFundMe account to help Mel's family. So I will link all that information down in the description box. Don't feel obligated, but please contribute if you can. The money will go towards helping Mel's husband and her children at this difficult time. Thank you. And in this video, I'm going to actually show you guys some of Mel's makeup tips and some of the products Mel used to recommend, because I loved every one of her recommendations and her pro tips, you guys, and I will include some of that in this video for you guys. I thought about doing a separate video just dedicated to Mel, in loving memory of Mel. But I didn't feel right doing that because I wasn't a close friend of Mel's. Some of her very close friends who are creators here on YouTube already did videos like that. And I didn't feel like I have any right to do that because I didn't know her personally. But I feel like I knew her personally. So I thought the best way to honor her would be to dedicate a makeup tips and tricks video to her in loving memory of her, because that's what she did. She gave makeup tips and she showed us how to do makeup. What better way to celebrate her life and legacy? So I thought this would be the best way to do that. So I hope you enjoy this video, you guys. Okay guys, so I'm going to show you my makeup tips and tricks, starting from primer to the very end, to lipstick, the final stages, buffing and all that. So all my makeup tips and tricks, and I'm going to include a few of Mel's makeup tips in this video as a tribute to her, in honor of her memory. I learned so many makeup tips and tricks from Mel, so I want to incorporate those into this video along with my tips for you guys. Let's get started. Guys, I haven't been getting very much sleep at all with the kids staying up so late. The little one still wakes up so many times a night and he's still nursing, so I barely get any sleep, so pardon my sleepless look. But anyway, the most important thing before you apply your makeup is to take care of your skin, you guys. Your skincare routine is very important. Keeping your skin, moisturized and supple is very important. If you're doing makeup for a function, something important, and you want to really look dewy and glowy, I suggest using a nice sheet mask like the Charlotte Tilbury sheet masks, or all of those Korean sheet masks that you can find, like doing some kind of hydration mask before you start your makeup and getting your skin prepped for the makeup. And then it's also very important to moisturize your skin. I use a vitamin C serum, and then I use my moisturizer before I do anything. So assuming all those things are done, I'm going to start giving you tips from the primer. So for me, a pore filling primer is very important in the makeup routine. The one I really loved was by Tarte. They had the Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer, and Mel was talking about how they must have reformulated it. Apparently it's not the same. I completely trust what Mel said. I just haven't bought a new one yet. I just ran out of my old one with the old formula. And you know, Mel was saying that it's been reformulated, so that must be true. I need to buy a new one to find out. So I don't have that on hand right now, but I have something else that I'm using instead. And that's what Mel used to use as well, now that I think about it. This is what I've been using instead. This is the Milk Makeup Blur Stick. So this works, but it's not as good as the Tarte one. I need to buy the new formula and see how it works. I haven't done it yet. But anyway, I'm actually going to use a couple of products actually Mel used to recommend. So she used to recommend this product right here. This, as you can see, I love it as well. I'm almost out. And the problem is Becca is going out of business, as you guys know. So I'm not sure if you can purchase this anywhere anymore. I bought 2 backups, and when I run out of them, I'll be completely out as well. I'm gonna have to find a replacement for this purpose. By the way, this is the Becca Anti-Fatigue Under Eye Primer. What it does is I actually take this right on my fingertip, and then I kind of tap it on under my eyes. This helps to glide your primers and under eye correctors right over, and it kind of like smoothes any like roughness or whatever, you know, under eyes. It really kind of like hydrates the under eyes and make them look supple. So I really like this product. All you need is like just a little bit, just, you know, do this, and whatever your finger picks up is completely fine. So the next product that I'm going to go in with is this one right here. I actually, it's on its last leg. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Under Eye Corrector in Salmon. Like, this is like the number 3 color. It comes in like 4 different colors. I broke it, by the way. It fell on the floor, and see, it's loved. It's super loved. So I take it on a brush like this, a densely packed brush, and I put it under my eyes to cover my dark circles. So right there, it color corrected right away, and that primer really helps to kind of make it look smooth under the eyes. I tend to put it on the upper lid too, because that way it looks uniform, and if there's any discoloration on the upper lid, it helps to conceal that as well. So that's what I do to sort of prep my under eye area. So 2 tips. 1, to really hydrate your under eyes and make sure that all the color correctors and primers are going to go smoothly over it. And then use a color corrector like this one right here. This is like the best color corrector I've ever used, the Charlotte Tilbury color corrector. And now I'm going to prime my skin, and this is my favorite primer at the moment. This is Stacha Silk Canvas Primer in the liquid version, and this also comes in a sort of a balm version, which also works super well. But I really like this because I feel like this sort of helps blur the skin, kind of give a nice canvas. I usually use my fingers to just spread it all over my face. You gotta use a really good primer, you guys. I prefer to use pore filling primers because it keeps your pores from getting filled with makeup, you know, keeps the makeup out of your your pores, and at the same time it helps the makeup glide right over and look sort of flawless. And it has like a blurring effect, you know, when you use a pore filling primer. So I have a couple of products Mel used to recommend, and this is one of them. This is the MAC Skin Refine Zone, like it's a prep and prime sort of thing, and she recommended using this on like certain areas, like where your lines are. Yeah, this really helps sort of do that pore filling thing, and then at the same time making your makeup look nice and smooth over the areas that you feel like extra help, you know. You don't need to use this product if you have like another pore filling primer, right, like this one right here. This is the Blur Stick by Milk Makeup. This is the one that I replaced the Tarte smoothing primer with. So I take this and I like to fill my pores where my pores are the largest, right over here where my nose is and my cheek area. This is actually another one Mel used to recommend. This is the MAC Prep and Prime for the lips. This is an additional step, you guys. You don't have to use this, but this helps prime your lips for lipstick. This is great, especially if you plan to wear matte, really super drying matte or metallic lip colors. Okay, now I'm going to apply my foundation, and with foundation I recommend choosing a foundation to suit the occasion, the time of the year, the weather. All that needs to be taken into consideration. Like in the colder months, like we're moving into right now, you can wear something a little bit more heavy, you know. In the summertime, you can't really wear heavy foundations because they will run down your face, one, and number two, it just looks weird when you sweat through heavy foundations. So keep that in mind. In the colder months, you can wear something a little bit thicker, you know, something that will be a little bit more full coverage. But sometimes in the dead of winter, when it's really dry, you might want to consider hydrating foundation depending on your skin type too. There are so many variables: your skin type, the time of year, you know, the hydration level of your skin, and the season and all that. So right now I picked this foundation right here. This is NARS Soft Matte Complete Foundation, which is one of my ride or die foundations. This guy is amazing. It's a full coverage foundation, yet it doesn't feel cakey or heavy. I prefer to use a makeup sponge to apply my foundation. It's usually the most flawless, but let's say you're using something that has less coverage, and then in that case you need to use a brush. That way you can get the maximum coverage out of that non-full coverage foundation, if you know what I mean. Now with this one I don't need to use a brush, but I will show you me using a brush with this just to show you another trick. Because when you apply with the foundation brush, even after you use a brush, you do want to use a sponge. That's my next step. You do want to use a sponge anyway after that to go over it, to make sure there are no brush lines and it looks smooth. So I actually do recommend using a sponge even after using a brush. I'll show you here what I mean. And you want to make sure you use a nice foundation brush like this. This is the IT Cosmetics Love is the foundation brush. This is a brush that they come out with every year this time of the year for breast cancer awareness. And every time they release this brush, I jump and I buy it because I love these brushes. They are so good. The bristles are perfect for foundation application. Next tip is to not forget your neck, you guys. Don't forget your neck. Do not forget your neck. You want to bring your foundation down to your neck and décolleté for sure, because you want it to all be seamless and blend well together. Okay, then I like to take my makeup sponge that is damp. I've wrung it out, so it's like slightly damp, and then I like to go over that brush application, you know, like go over to make sure it's all smooth and seamless, because brushes can sometimes leave like lines and stuff, you guys. So I always go over it with my makeup sponge. Okay, now for the concealer. Now this is a very important step, and the application method is important. Make sure to pick a concealer that gives you fairly good coverage but doesn't look cakey under the eyes, and also at the same time something that's not too drying and also not too wet. Now this is a hard balance to strike, and I have done so much research and used so many concealers. I can tell you the best ones and save you time and money. The one that I'm loving the most right now that accomplishes all those things that I talked about is the Pat McGrath Concealer. And when you pick a concealer, you guys, you want to make sure that it's not too light from your skin tone, also not too dark. So you want it to be maybe like one shade lighter than your skin tone, but nothing too light. You want it to be almost your skin tone, but not quite, if that makes sense. If it's too light, it's gonna make you look like really weird clown with this like light browns here, and if it's too dark, it's gonna look really reverse and weird. So you want it to almost match your skin tone, but not quite, and this is the perfect one for me. This is medium 15. The application method, now that's the next step. If you have been watching YouTube for a long time, you know, a lot of the YouTube creators used to do like the upside down triangle, you know, drawing lines like this, you know, like an upside down triangle like this, and like a T over here down the middle of the nose and all that. And now that's gone away, and everybody's now using a different method, which is what I'm about to show you right here. So right now the popular method is to put a little concealer right here in the corner, just like in the very corner like that against the nose, and then to put the rest right there, kind of lifting your eye up in the other corner, and then blending it for it to kind of meet in the middle. So this is like the latest trick that every beauty guru is teaching right now and going for. No one's doing the upside down triangle anymore, but let me talk to you about something. So yeah, this is great, you know, it gets the job done, it gets the concealing done, but there is a difference, you guys, between this technique and the one that I find to work the best. Take a look at this method. So that's this side, and for people like me who have dark circles, the eyes are a little sunken in from lack of sleep, and then you do have like discoloration under the eyes that you want to conceal. People like that need to use this method that I'm about to show you, because as you can see, there's a little like a divot here, and this is the eye socket. So here's the end of the eye socket, and here's your cheek. So you want the eye socket to sort of match your cheek and sort of blend together and smooth over. And for that to happen, you can't just put the concealer in the eye socket like I did before, because it doesn't get the job done, because then the concealer stops right here and it doesn't smooth the eye socket area and blend it with the rest of the face. Let me do it and explain it better that way. So instead, if you put your concealer like this, you know, all down like that, and then you bring it down a little bit past your eye socket. You see that eye socket right there? I brought it over the eye socket and I stopped it right there, and now it's blending the eye socket and the cheek area. I covered that whole area like that with the concealer. Now when I blend it, the eye socket area is going to blend with the rest of the face. Watch this. And it's gonna make that dark circle looking thing go away better. I always bring the concealer over on top of my eyelid as well, because you need to. It just blends better that way. Now take a look at that. I don't know, you guys, if you can see that. So this is the eye I did before. Just concealer here and blending it out just in the eye socket. Do you see how the eye socket is still very prominent and it's still a little dark and it doesn't blend over? Whereas on this side, it's actually brighter and it's blending more into the rest of the face than this side. See this side? This is the side that I just used the current popular method, you can still see my socket, my darkness under the eye, whereas on this side, it's blending better with the rest of my face. The eye socket isn't as dark, you know, it's looking a little bit brighter, a little bit more like uplifted, a little bit more brightened. So I'm gonna do the same now on this side to kind of even things out. Otherwise this one would look weird and that one would look different from this one. So like that. So I bring it right on the nose like that, which helps like the nose contouring later. Now I'm gonna blend this side out with the other side so it both look the same. See, when you bring it over the cheek, you guys, it blends the cheek into the eye socket, so the eye socket doesn't look so prominent and sunken in and dark. Do you see what a difference it made when I corrected this side? This is how bridal makeup artists do it too, you guys, to give brides like brightened under eyes. You do have to bring it past the eye socket into the cheekbone, the cheek area, so that it looks brighter. This is how you do bridal makeup as well. So see, it instantaneously brightened my under eye and kind of made my eye sockets look less prominent, look less sunken in. So the next step is to immediately set the under eye, set the concealer, because otherwise it will crease and give you weird lines. The nice thing about Mcgrath Concealer is that it doesn't crease. So it's a really nice concealer, but I still like to set my under eyes. And here, right here, is my favorite product to set my under eyes with, you guys. This is the Becca Eye Brightening Powder. Another recommendation by Mel. She used to recommend this. This is like perfect, actually. She was so right. But unfortunately, Becca is going out of business and this powder is no longer available. This is my last powder. As you can see, I'm almost out. I have like a tiny little bit left. And when I'm out of this, then I'm out. But I can give you an alternative. You can use the Makup Forever, has an HD loose powder for under eye. That would work too if you can't find this one anymore. This powder, you guys, is so finely milled that it is so smoothing for the under eye, like, and it instantly brightens up the under eye. I don't know if the camera caught that, how brightening this powder is. So I'm applying this with my Wayne Goss brush here. Another brand she used to love and adore. I love Wayne Goss brushes too. You can set your under eye like that. Now look at that. It's like I didn't have any dark circles at all and I had a really nice good night's sleep, you know? So that's that. And another powder that I really love, I also want to show you, is this is something that I found. This is the Tom Ford translucent powder. This is the #1 translucent, it's called. So this one looks like a sort of like a banana powder. As you can see, I've used and abused this and it's hit pan and everything. This one is really nice, kind of like almost like a banana powder. This one also really brightens up the under eyes. Really love this powder. Now this is something I found works so well for the under eyes as well. This powder is also really finely milled and that sort of banana color really brightens up the under eyes. So sometimes I use both Becca and this together on days that I really need extra help, like today. So I only use powder products under my eyes, as you saw. Now my foundation is still not set. Now I'm going to use my cream contour to contour my face. So I'm going to use my cream products now and then I'm going to set my face. So this is something I found to work the best for me. And the shade works so well for my skin tone as well. This one is my favorite contour stick. This is Fenty contour stick. This is in the shade Mocha, which is a cool toned contour shade, which is perfect for my skin tone, this one. And with contour, you do want to use a cooler tone because you want to create that shadow, you know, the darkness, sort of like a shadow under your jawbones and on your jawline and everything. You want it to look dark and shadowy. So you do want to use a cool tone, not a warm tone for contour. Now bronzer is a different story. If you have a cream bronzer, you can use a warm cream bronzer. Contour is different. You were trying to contour, chisel your cheeks, you know, and your face. So now when you contour, you want to contour to suit your face shape. Now my face is a little bit more round and a little bit wider, you know, like I don't have a skinny long face. I have really nice cheeks. I have a ball right here, cheeks, you know, like ball up like that. So I have nice round cheeks. So I don't want to go in like rounds like this and round out my cheeks at all, because it's already like that and I have really good like bone structure and my face is not very narrow. So I want to contour in a way it narrows it a little bit more. Whereas if I had a very narrow face, I would be contouring it like round like this to give myself cheeks and then at the same time widen it a little bit more instead of making it look even more skinny. I'm going to do a dedicated how to contour 101 video for you guys. Let me know down in the comment section if you want to see that. I will show you how to contour to suit your face shape. Now for my shape, for my face, I'm gonna contour down on an angle so it elongates my face a little bit more as it's round already and I have nice round cheeks. So I'm not gonna go round like that and I would rather kind of contour down on an angle like this. So it makes my face a little bit more chiseled, a little long, elongated, and a little bit narrower, right? That's how I want to contour my face. So watch this. So I start here up in the forehead there, and now I'm going to come right down the cheekbone. Now you don't want to go far too under the cheekbone. If you went too far under right over here, this is another mistake people make. If you contour too far under your cheekbone, which is right here, now if I had contoured under here, which is where the hollow is, if I contoured right there, it's gonna blend down below to an area over here that I don't want it to blend out to. So what I do is I actually contour right on the cheekbone, and then when I blend, it moves down a little bit right to the area where I want it to be, where the hollow is. So start contouring a little bit higher up, right on the cheekbone instead of under the cheekbone. Now that's a pro tip, you guys. So this, and then I also, for my face shape, I like to go contour my jawbone again in a sort of an angle where I have a very prominent jaw there. So I like to sort of reduce it a little bit and come down like that, right on the jawbone, like that. So I don't bring it any further because I don't want to, you know, for my face shape, that's what I want to do. And I contour a little bit up here, but that's mostly, I leave that for my bronzer. But here I just contour right down on an angle like this, just like the other side. And then I put a little under here to sort of eliminate any like double chin if there's any there. I don't really have that much, but I contour there so you can shadow that out. So now I like to take a stippling brush like this with duo fiber. As you can see, you want a brush like this where it has these kind of stippling ends. This is my favorite contour blending brush, by the way. Works so well. And then I take the brush and I go blend my contour out. I'm even blending this down in an angle where I want my face to look more elongated. Now it's right in the contour area where I want the contour to be. See, my face is now chiseled this way. That's what I want it to be, like this and like this. So it's narrowing my face a little bit more. Then you're gonna go under the jawbone and blend that as well. like this so that your jawbone is nice and chiseled. Okay, you guys, so that's a nice contour job for my face shape. And if I had a long elongated face, I would have brought my contour like this, rounded around my cheekbone, and I made my cheek look a little bit more like a ball if I had an elongated face. And I wouldn't have brought it down on an angle like this, if that makes sense. I would have brought it more like from a straight line and made that round if I had an elongated face. Again, I will do a how to contour 101 video very soon. So now I'm going to set my face, and to set my face I use a different powder from the powder I'm going to use to buff my face at the very end, and I will show you what buffing is. But for setting my face today, I'm going to use my Chanel powder. This is the universal powder from Chanel. I take a large fluffy brush like this. This is my La Mer brush, and I take a little bit of the powder like this and I tap it out and I set my face. I also love to use the Gucci compact powder, the one that I use that a lot. I also like Charlotte Tilbury's Airbrush powder for setting my face. So there are two types of powders, you guys. There's setting powders and finishing powders. So this is a setting powder that I'm using right now, and I'll show you that I use finishing powders to buff my face. So sometimes you can use the setting powder as a finishing powder as well. And so now my makeup is nice and set in place, and it's not going to move anywhere. Now I'm going to use a palette that Mel used to talk about. Actually, she used to talk about Coco Mirage, and that was discontinued. She loved that palette. Then Tom Ford released this one. This is the Mink Mirage, the one with the black shadow. So this is an all matte eyeshadow palette. So this is what it looks like. It's an all matte palette, like I said. Oh, the kind of things you can do with a palette like this, you guys. I didn't used to love all matte palettes, but I really do now. I do eyeshadow tutorials all the time, you guys, so I'm not going to include the eyeshadow application tips that much in this video. Check out all my eyeshadow tutorials up here. I will link some up here and down in the description box. Check them out, but for now I'll just do some basics. I'm not going to go deep into the eyeshadow application techniques. So I'm going to go in with this shade right there, the transition shade. So my first tip to you is to start very much higher above your crease with your transition shade, you guys, because if you start on the crease, it's going to make your eyes look smaller. So you want to start above your crease with your transition shade. That is a very big pro tip that I can give you guys. This I learned the hard way. If you start right in the socket here with the transition shades, then your eyes are gonna close. So to open up your eyes, you want to start above the crease. Start above the crease and move down with darker colors. As the color gets darker, you move further down. So I have contoured my eyes with this transition shade. Now I'm going to take a smaller blending brush like this, and I'm going to go into this darker brown right there, and I'm going to start defining my outer V, as we say. Now I'm going to actually come right onto the crease there, as you can see, right onto the crease, on the crease in circular motions. I'm going to deposit this color, and I'm going to come around in a V shape in circular motions going into that eye socket right there and sort of contour around it. See, as the color gets darker, you move further down, but not too far down, because again, you don't want to close your eyes at all. You want to open your eyes and make the lid look super large. Okay, now do you see that? That really contoured my eyelids and they look big. So now I'm going to take a flat shader brush like this, and I'm going to go into this cream color right there, and I'm going to put that all over my lid. The first 2/3 of the eyelid I'm going to cover with that shade up until I meet those other outer V colors. I'm going to just now your eyes are nice and defined, and this is a very wearable look that you can wear to work and anywhere really. It can go from day to night if you want. So now I'm going to take a very small pointed brush like this, and I'm going to go into the black right there. And now I'm going to put the finishing touches on the eye look. So I'm going to sort of go right along the lash line like that. And define my lash line with this black right there. And I'm not going to bring it to the inner corner at all. I'm going to keep it right on the outer edge like that. And that's all I'm going to do with that shade. This is a very simple eye look that you can do if you don't have a whole lot of time, but you want a pretty glam look. And then I'm going to bring a little bit of that black into the V there, a little bit like that, just like from here, just flicker it in. So it's in a little V as well from that winged eye out there. That's pretty much the eye look, you guys. And I'm going to do the lower lash line. I'm going to put that black right on the outer 1/3, almost 2/3 of the eye. And then I'm going to blend it down. And now I'm going to take a squirrel hair pencil brush, and I'm going to go into that chocolate color there, and I'm going to blend it a little bit down with that chocolate color right on the outer part. Again, I'm not going to bring it into the eye at all. And then I'm going to take that transition shade, and then I'm going to blend it down even further, but I'm going to bring it into the inner part now with that shade. I don't know if you guys can see very well. It's always a struggle with the camera to make sure it shows. I can use a liquid liner over this, do my liquid eyeliner. I don't have to, but I could. So I will do it just to show you guys, but you don't really need it for this eye look. You can just curl your eyelashes, put your mascara on, and be done with it. But I'll do it. By the way, if you want to learn how to do a wing liner, I did 4 different wing liners, a tutorial showing you how to take the smallest wing to a more dramatic wing. I did a whole tutorial on that. I will link that up here and down in the description box. Check that out. So I'm not going to actually teach you that today. You can just go watch that video for it. So you guys, yeah, that's it for the eye look. It's a very simple sort of eye look that you can do really quickly. I actually have a tutorial using this Mink Mirage palette doing a cat eye look. I will link that up here and down in the description box. That was really beautiful, you guys. This isn't exactly that. This is a variation of that, a very simple version of that. But I did an amazing cat eye with this palette, you guys. Oh my gosh, the things you can do with this palette when it comes to foxy eyes or cat eyes. Oh, amazing. And you can actually do a simplified version like this for, like, you know, every day or going out and you're in a hurry. You don't have to do like the very careful, perfect method of cat eye that I showed in that video. Check that out, you guys. It's a really good tutorial. I'll link it up here and down in the description box. My next tips involve mascara application, you guys. Now, always, always, always remember to curl your eyelashes before you apply mascara. Very, very, very important. I don't like to use false lashes always, you guys, and I'm not going to in this tutorial. I am just going to apply mascara because that's what most of us do on a daily basis. Now, eyelashes are something that I pull out for special occasions. If I'm going to some kind of show or something very elegant, something that I'm going to be on the stage for, because you need to wear eyelashes, otherwise your eyes kind of disappear when you are on a stage with lights on you. That's different, but today I'm just going to do an everyday type of wear look, so I'm not going to wear eyelashes today. So you curl your eyelashes and then you can use a lash primer, which actually is very helpful in making your eyelashes look really thick and voluminous and long. I'm not going to show you that right now. You can use one. I'm going to skip that because most of us don't have time to use a lash primer and then use mascara on a daily basis. So I'm doing this mostly for everyday, put your makeup on and run out the door kind of look, you guys. But I'm still going to show you how to get a nice set of full eyelashes with just mascara application. So my favorite mascara right now to get a full set of voluminous, amazing long lashes is the Mcgrath Dark Star Mascara, you guys. This one's the bomb. Really, really good. So when you're applying mascara, make sure to do 2 coats. That's tip number 1. But also when you apply it, you start from the root and you wiggle it up. Start from the root, wiggle it up, and make sure you coat the entire lash. You know, start from the root, wiggle it up. Make sure the eyelashes, every single one of them, is coated well. And when you go to the inner corner, be careful. If you ever get mascara on your skin where you don't want it, what you do is you wait for it. This is another pro tip. You wait for it to dry. You don't touch it, you don't mess with it. You wait for it to completely dry, and then you take a eyebrow pencil, you know, the spoolies that come on the end of those. Take one of those and you scrape it off, and it comes right off as if it never was there. Now I got that right there. Now I'm gonna not touch that, and I'm gonna let it be. I'm gonna let it dry, and I will show you how it flakes right off when it dries. So I'm gonna leave it be, and I'm gonna continue to apply my mascara. And then lower lash line, same thing. Start from the root, wiggle it, wiggle it, wiggle it, wiggle it. Now we're gonna go on with the second coat, and 2 coats of mascara is super important. And I got another one right there. I'm gonna do the same thing. Again, this is something that happens with mascara application, you guys. You're gonna get it a little bit. So you just let it dry. You do not touch it. You don't mess with it. Now, can you guys see how much thicker my eyelashes are? So this is the side without, and here's the side with. This side almost looks like I'm wearing false lashes. Okay, you guys, so see how thick those lashes look right now? They look like I'm wearing false lashes. So now I'm gonna show you the spoolie trick here to get rid of the mascara mess over here. You take the spoolie and you just take it right off. See? Gone. See? Yep, they're gone. And this one, did you see that? I look like I'm wearing false lashes, and they look really, really sexy. So now I'm going to do my eyebrows. For my eyebrows, you guys, I don't like to use brow pomade. It just makes my eyebrows look too crazy and too fake. I have brow pomades, I have brow powders. I don't use either one of those things. So I tend to use a really good eyebrow pencil. Unfortunately, my favorite eyebrow pencil, both of them are out right now. This is a very like OG kind of eyebrow pencil. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills eyebrow pencil. My favorite eyebrow pencils are the Huda Beauty one. That's really nice, very thin, flat brow pencil. Perfect, love that one. And I like Benefit Cosmetics eyebrow pencil, and I love the brow blade, you guys. This one right here, again, I ran out of this side, so this is the brow pencil. It's gone, I used it up, and then it comes with this little pen on the other side to draw those fine, sort of fine hair strokes. I start with the front of the brow very lightly, and then I draw sort of a line there to see where I want it to end, very lightly, and then I kind of do hairline strokes. Use a very light hand when you do the front of the brow, and go very lightly and do very small hairline strokes. Okay, now I'm going to take the brow blade, the side that I have still left. I'm going to do slight little hairline strokes here, and you can use the other side, the spoolie, to sort of brush through the work you just did. And by the way, you guys, when I do get my favorite eyebrow pencils, I'm gonna actually do a separate how to do brows tutorial. I'm not gonna really do a full tutorial here. I'm just gonna do my brows today. Then I like to use a brow setting gel. This is my favorite one because look at that one. It's got like longer bristles on one side and shorter on the other side. And I use the long side to comb my brows through. And this one doesn't make my brows look too crazy, you guys. Like, I don't like those laminated brows. So to bronze my face, I like to use a brush that's shaped like this. I have a couple of this type of brushes. Now this one is a Sephora brush. I'm gonna bronze with one of my favorite bronzers right now. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Bronzer. I'm going to see, this is I think in the shade 3, number 3. So yeah, number 3 seemed to be my color with Charlotte Tilbury. So I take the brush, and this also has that nice shape. Even though this is not contouring, I still like this brush shape for bronzer as well, because it helps me keep the bronzer from dispersing too much up and down. And I want to still keep it, while it's not contour, I still want to keep it where I need to keep it without it coming down too much or going up too much. So I take it and I go like this, a little up here, and then I come around. So this one is like not as precise. As you can see, bronzing is a little bit more about warming your face, giving your face some warmth. I go up here to the temple and I bronze my temple as well. And then I go around my jawline. So for blush, you can use a cream blush and a powder blush on top of it, or you can use one that's sort of cream to powder, which is what I'm going to use today. So this is the MAC Glow Play blush in Heat Index. So that's what I'm going to use. So this has like a texture that's kind of like a cream to powder texture. I don't know if you guys can pick that up. It's not quite a powder. I love the finish of this blush. So I like to use a blush brush like this one. This is by Wayne Goss. This is number 11 brush. So I'm gonna take that blush on my brush. As you can see, it's not a whole lot. These are my tips for blush. Now when you blush, don't blush right by the ear, right here only. Because who blushes like that? Blush is basically supposed to make you look like you're flushing, or blush, you know, you're blushing, you're flushing, your cheeks are flushed, or you're blushing. Your cheeks don't flush back here. That looks artificial, fake. What you do is you do it in a kind of a shape like a Nike check mark, you know how it goes round and check up like that. That's kind of the same way you blush. Swish and swoop, swish and swoop. That's how you do blush. Swish and swoop, swoop, swoop. That's kind of how you blush right there. You don't want to blush like a clown right here on the ball either, ball of the cheek. You don't want to blush right there either. But you want to blush right towards like the middle of the cheek, about right there. Swish and swoop. I look like I'm blushing. I'm flushed. That's what you want. Like I look like I'm blushing. I look like I'm nicely flushed. So that's what you want. That gives it that youthful, healthy flush to your cheeks. Okay, now you guys, we have done pretty much everything. What's left is my nose contouring, and I'm gonna show you how I contour my nose. So nose contouring, I like to use a brush that's shaped like this, or a brush that's shaped like this. And I don't like to do a harsh contour for my nose, you guys, and I don't do cream contour for my nose because my nose is pretty much already nicely shaped. Now again, this all depends on the type of nose you have. If you have like a larger nose, then you want to use cream contour to sort of slim it down a little bit on the side, in the same way that I'm going to show you how to do the powder contouring, which is all I do. I just use my bronzer. I don't even use a contour powder because it's too harsh. Like I don't want that much of a shadow created on my nose because my nose is already a button nose that's shaped pretty nicely already. So I just use just a light little bit of contouring. So I take this brush and I just use this natural shape of the brush. But by the way, this is a Scott Barnes brush. And then I kind of go on the sides and then kind of swoop it down like this a little bit. And then I'm gonna go blend it with that other brush that I showed you. And I don't ever close here because I already have a button nose. I want my nose to have the length that it has. So if you have a longer nose, you want to shorten and make it more of a button nose, then you want to kind of close it up here, kind of contour there too to kind of make it shorter. Again, I'm going to do that video just on contouring one of these days. Let me know down in the description box if you guys want to see that. So now I'm going to take that other brush I showed you and I'm just going to use that to blend the nose contouring because you do not want to have any harsh contouring on your nose, especially looks funny. So I'm going to take my Dior highlighter and I'm going to use this color right here. And you guys, with highlighting, you can highlight first and then put the blush on, or you can blush and then highlight. Either way, it really doesn't make that much of a difference, you guys. Trust me, I've done both. And if you have like a blush topper, it's better for the blush topper to go on top of the blush. If you're not going to highlight and just use a blush topper, then put the blush on first and then do the blush topper. For me, it really doesn't matter. I do it both ways depending on my mood that day. So with highlighting, you want to go in a C curve, sort of like this, right on the cheekbone. Here's my cheekbone, and you don't want to come any further in from that point. This is the point where you stop right there, the top of the cheekbone right there, and then you kind of go in a C curve like this, and then above. That's how you highlight your face, because when you turn, you want it to like have that glow on the side. Slightly, I don't tend to highlight my forehead too much. I don't want it shining like some kind of plate, you know, just very lightly highlight my forehead. I don't do too much highlighting there. Then I put a little right on the top of my chin there so that it like kind of shines like a little button chin, you know. I'm gonna take a small brush like this that I use to highlight my inner corners, which reminds me that I have to highlight my inner corners. And then I use that to sort of highlight my nose bridge. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So what I do is I don't put it right on the tip of the nose like that. Then you look like Rudolph. So you want to put it right above the top of the nose right there. Just a little like that. That's all. And then come right down the middle. Right on the nose bridge there. And right there, especially where the divot is, the bend is. And that kind of really emphasizes the bend of the nose there, and then just it's kind of like an exclamation point almost. That's how I highlight my nose. And then I like to also highlight my upper lip like that a little bit. Now I'm gonna actually take that same highlighter and I'm gonna highlight my inner corners here real quick, and then I'm gonna do my brow bone here, highlight my brow bone as well, with a little bit of that shade. I'm gonna use this shade to highlight my brow bone real quick, which I forgot to do earlier. So right there, I'm just gonna highlight a little bit. So now I'm gonna line my lips, and I have some tips there as well. So that primer has really prepped my lips. There's a little bit of tackiness. So I'm gonna take my Pat McGrath lip pencil in the shade Suburbia, and I'm going to overline my lips a little bit. So I'm going to overline, not by a whole lot, just a little bit over my lip line there. There you go. Just a little bit, see? Right over my lip. Cupid's bow. Nice shape right there. And then I'm going to go down. Again, overline just a little bit, and then I'm gonna kind of color in the ends there a little bit into the lip, kind of contouring my lips. Same up here, and then I like to draw two lines right there where my lines are. It makes the lips look fuller. Can you guys see? Now I'm going to use the lipstick Walk of No Shame. This is by Charlotte Tilbury. This is a matte lipstick. This is a lovely color, you guys. I really like this shade. And you can use a little bit of lip gloss right on the top of the lips, right here and right here. That's a pro tip, by the way, you guys. When you apply lip gloss. Do not apply it all over your lip. Then you get that butthole lip thing going on, and then you get lip gloss gathering in the corners of your mouth. So I'm using the Mcgrath lip gloss. It's one of the best lip glosses. I can't see the name, you guys. It's too tiny. I will put all that down in the description box. So when you apply lip gloss, make sure to just put it right on the centers of your lips. Right there. Right there. That's it. That's it. You don't bring it all the way to the corners. That's all you do. Cupid's bow and the center of the lower lip. That is it. So the final step is to buff the face to make everything sort of blend well together. This to me is a very crucial step, you guys, in makeup application, to not have any harsh lines. If you have blush, too much blush, or if you have crazy highlighter, or you have the contour looking a little weird, whatever happens, if you buff your face at the very end of the makeup routine, you will have beautifully blended face. You will not be able to see where the contour began and the blush ended. It's gonna look flawless. This is a pro tip by Mel. Mel loved finishing her face with buffing, you guys. And Mel is the one that I learned the buffing technique from and learned to buff my face from. Before Mel really showed what type of powders to use and everything, I used to sort of buff my face like at the end just with nothing on my brush, kind of like this, and I used to do that. But Mel's the one who really showed how to buff your face with the right type of powder, and that's where I learned the best powders to use for finishing the face. And one of her recommendations was the La Mer powder. This is the old powder, you guys. I actually bought this from someone who was selling it. It was brand new. This is no longer available to buy. This is a beautiful powder to use to buff your face with. That's one of the things, but it's no longer there. And Mel found another powder that's even better than that later, once that was discontinued. And it is this right here. It's by Sicily, the finishing powder. This one is the Phyto Poudre Lipa powder. This one is in the shade Sable. Number 4 Sable for my skin tone. I remember Mel used 01 Iris A or Iris C. And another one I love and adore is this one right here to finish my face with. And this is the Guerlain Meteorites, you guys. They come like pearls like this, and this is what's perfect for my skin tone. I'm gonna use the Sicily powder today in honor of Mel, you guys. I'm gonna take a little powder, and then I'm gonna shake it off, and you buff your face like this. You don't press too hard, you like lightly buff over all the stuff you did, all the makeup you applied onto your face. You buff, and then you bring it down to your décolleté, and you buff your neck and décolleté as well. See, now my blush is well blended. It's not looking clown-like or anything. It's nicely blended into the skin. Everything sort of meshes so well when you buff your skin at the end. Very important to set your face. I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. Now, this is important to hold the setting spray far away from your face in case it squirts too much right onto your face. You know, you're going to ruin your entire makeup look. So hold it far away like this. And that's the last tap. Does it look like I was run over by a bus after not having any sleep the night before? Now you can't even tell anymore, you guys. I look pretty nice and glam. So you guys, that's the finished look. I look like I was run over by a train. I was so tired and I had dark circles, and now you can't even tell that I had a sleepless night and my skin looked tired and all that. None of that you can tell anymore. My makeup looks super fabulous and flawless. So you guys, I hope you found this video very, very helpful, and some of those tips are from beautiful Mel, and this video is dedicated to Mel, or Melissa Thompson, and she will be sorely missed, and cannot believe I will not see her beautiful face or hear "Hey beauties" in a new video. but she has all those gorgeous videos she created, you guys. Guys, I will link her channel down in the description box, and I will link her last video down in the description box. I don't think there'll be ever another YouTube creator just like Mel ever again, and she will be sorely missed. I hope you guys found this video and these pro makeup tips very helpful. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Ring that notification bell so that you can be notified every time I upload. I will see you guys in my next video.